10 survival foods that people who are truly prepared for survival never share online. Not because they are rare, not because they are expensive, but because when you understand their true value, you would not want others to know. This list is not the best items. These are the items enough for you to keep going when everything starts going downhill. Things that are not attractive, not advertised, but determine how long you can hold on. And there is one item in this list, item number 7, that is almost always overlooked. No one talks about it. No one prepares it properly. But when it is missing, you will notice the difference very clearly. Not immediately, but in a silent way, but definitely. If you want to understand the difference between having food and being able to continue, then you need to see the whole list. 10. Animal fat. You do not die from running out of food. You lose your ability to function first. The issue is not how much rice or food you have, but whether your body has enough energy to keep going or not. And that depends on how the body produces energy. Starches like rice provide energy very quickly. You eat and you feel energized immediately, but that energy also drops very fast. That is why after a while you feel tired and hungry again. In contrast, fat is metabolized more slowly, but provides stable energy and lasts much longer. Starches help you function in the short term, while fats help you sustain yourself in the long term. Therefore, the issue is not about eating more or less, but about which source you are getting energy from. Fat contains about 9 calories per gram, nearly double that of starch, so only a small amount can help maintain strength for longer. This is why some people eat a lot and still feel tired, while others eat less but remain strong, because they have a more stable energy source. Beyond energy, fat also keeps the body warm, supports hormones, helps absorb important vitamins like A, D, E, K, and especially the brain also needs fat to function normally. This is not a small detail, but a foundation for the body to operate stably. The most common mistake is storing a lot of starch like rice, noodles, bread, but having no fat to go with it. As a result, you feel full but have no strength. The body weakens gradually without understanding the reason. At that point, you will think you need to eat more, but in reality, you are lacking the right type of energy. When storing, using a wet spoon, opening the lid many times, or leaving it in a hot and bright place, these things make fat spoil faster. To keep it longer, it should be divided into multiple small jars. Only open each jar when needed, seal it completely, and keep it in a cool, dark place. Animal fat, if stored properly, can last from 1 to 3 years because it contains almost no water, while bacteria need water to grow. However, fat can still go bad if exposed to air, light, and high temperature. When fat has a strange smell, bitter or burnt taste, that is a sign it should not be used. There is a very effective way. After cooking meat, cover it completely with a layer of fat to block air exposure, helping preserve it longer even without a refrigerator. If you were placed in a choice, a large bag of rice or some rice with animal fat, a person who understands the nature of things would choose the second option. Because in survival, it is not about eating a lot to live, but having enough energy to continue. Animal fat is not a secondary food, but a core energy source. If you lack it, you still eat every day, but you will gradually weaken, slow down, and lose the ability to work. You think you need to eat more, but in reality, you need the right thing more. Without animal fat, you do not die immediately, but you will not be able to continue. Which item are you missing in this list? 9. Nutritional yeast. There are things that when you lack them, you notice immediately. Hunger, fatigue, exhaustion. But there are also things that slowly disappear without you even realizing it, until all your decisions start to go off track. Nutritional yeast belongs to that group. It is not prominent, not familiar, but it directly affects how you think and respond every day. When everything is still under control, you almost do not notice this. But when the body is under stress, sleep-deprived, or nutrition is unbalanced, changes begin to appear in the least expected place, in the way you think. You read a simple piece of information, but have to look at it again. You respond more slowly in familiar situations. You still feel like you are fine, but your processing ability is no longer the same as before. And the most dangerous part is that you do not realize that change. Nutritional yeast is not meant to make you feel full. Its value lies in providing B vitamins, micronutrients that directly participate in brain and nervous system activity. When these vitamins are lacking, the body does not collapse immediately, but clarity and thinking starts to decline. You become easily fatigued, have difficulty concentrating, and gradually lose the alertness needed to make accurate decisions. The important point is not whether you have enough food or not, but whether you still maintain the ability to assess situations or not. When thinking is no longer accurate, you are not just getting weaker. You start making wrong choices that you yourself do not even realize. In many cases, this is even more dangerous than lacking food. This thing is not as simple as it looks. It helps the nervous system maintain stability, supports memory, and keeps reactions fast enough to adapt to circumstances. This is not something you feel immediately, but it is the foundation for all correct actions. Many people prepare food very carefully, storing all kinds of energy sources, but overlook small micronutrients like B vitamins. They may not lack food, but they lack the foundation to think clearly and act effectively. The problem is not lack in general, but lacking the right thing. Nutritional yeast is not eye-catching and not a familiar choice, but precisely because of that, it is often overlooked. Meanwhile, in reality, this is one of the simplest ways to maintain long-term brain stability. In any situation, you do not just need to survive. You need to maintain the ability to think accurately. If that is lost, everything you prepared before loses value. And that is why people who deeply understand the issue do not only prepare for the body, but also prepare for how they make decisions. If you could only choose one thing, what would you choose? 8. Iodized salt. This is the smallest thing in the kitchen, but also the thing that controls how your body operates every day. And it is also the most overlooked. When you lack iodine, your body does not collapse immediately. It does not break down. It only slows down. You feel colder, more tired, and your energy gradually decreases. You start to feel everything slowing down, but you think it is due to the weather, age, or circumstances. But it is not. You are missing a very small mineral, but it affects the entire body. Iodized salt is not just a seasoning. It is a source of iodine, a mineral necessary for the thyroid gland to function properly. The thyroid is the control system for the body's metabolic rate. When iodine is lacking, the thyroid slows down, hormones decrease, and your entire system slows down. You do not collapse immediately, but you gradually become weaker over time. You eat enough but still lack energy, sleep enough but still feel tired. Your mind is less alert and your reactions are slower. The issue is not that you lack food. You lack the thing that controls how your body uses energy. This is why there are people who eat normally, live normally, but are always in a tired state. The true role of iodized salt is simple: keeping the body functioning stably. It helps maintain metabolism, keeps body temperature, and ensures energy is used properly. Without it, you are still alive, but your body no longer operates efficiently as before. The most common mistake is using natural types of salt, such as sea salt, pink salt, or other types of salt without added iodine. It may look better, but it lacks the most important element. Natural does not always mean enough. The second mistake is not storing enough salt, because people think it is always available. In reality, in any survival situation, this is one of the most important things to have in large quantity. Salt can be used for a very long time because it is a mineral that does not easily spoil. However, the iodine content in salt can gradually decrease if exposed to air, light, and humidity. Therefore, storage determines quality. You should keep salt in a sealed container in a dry place, away from direct light, and if possible, use a moisture-absorbing packet to maintain long-term stability. In addition to daily use, salt is also an extremely effective food preservation tool. You can use salt to pickle vegetables, marinate meat, or extend food shelf life when there is no electricity. This is a method humans have used for hundreds of years before refrigerators existed, and it is still effective today. Look at it simply. You can live without meat for a period of time, but you cannot go long without salt and still have your body function normally. In survival, iodized salt is not a secondary item, but the thing that keeps your entire body from slowing down. Without it, you still eat every day, still have food, but you will grow weaker, slower, and lose your ability to function without understanding why. You will think you need to eat more, but the truth is you are not lacking food. You are lacking the right thing. And that is why people who truly understand the nature of things never overlook iodized salt. Because without it, you do not die immediately, but you will not be able to continue functioning as a normal body. Do you think this item is the most important or not? 7. Canned sardines. On a nearly empty food shelf, what remains is usually not what is chosen first. It is what is left because it is overlooked, and canned sardines almost always fall into that group. Not beautiful, not attractive, not a first choice. But in terms of effectiveness, it is one of the most valuable foods many people do not realize. Sardines are not just quick food. They are a source of nutrition that is almost all in one in a small can. Complete protein helps maintain muscles and repair the body. Omega-3 supports the cardiovascular system and the brain, especially important when the body is under prolonged stress. Calcium, especially when eating the soft bones in the fish, helps maintain the skeletal system and nerve function. These are not luxuries, but things the body needs to continue functioning normally. The biggest strength of sardines is not nutrition, but practicality. You do not need to cook, do not need preparation, do not need tools. Just open it, and you can eat immediately. In situations with no electricity, no stove, or no cooking conditions, this is a huge advantage. While many other foods become useless because they require preparation, sardines still retain their value. The shelf life of sardines is usually 3 to 5 years, even longer if stored properly. The reason is that the product is sealed and fully sterilized, preventing bacterial growth. This gives you a stable food source for a long time without worrying too much about spoilage. The most common mistake is underestimating sardines just because they are not tasty or attractive. But in survival, taste is not the deciding factor. What matters is the practical value it brings. Another mistake is buying them and leaving them unused for too long. The best approach is rotation. Eat, replace, keep the supply fresh. A small but valuable detail. Do not throw away the oil in the can. It is not only a preservative but also an additional energy source, especially useful when the body needs extra calories. In normal conditions, sardines may only be a secondary option. But in limited situations, it becomes one of the rare all-in-one foods. If protein is lacking, your body weakens very quickly, loses strength, recovers slowly, and struggles to maintain activity. Therefore, canned sardines are not something you choose because you like it, but something you should have, because it helps you keep going. Are you preparing the right way? 6. Vinegar. A very clear change happens after a few days of eating the same group of foods repeatedly. Your body does not respond with hunger, but with a reduced interest in meals. After a few days, your meals start to repeat. Rice, beans, dried foods, almost no variation. Your body still needs energy, but a feeling of food fatigue begins to appear. You eat less, not because you do not need it, but because you no longer feel interested. You feel full faster, or simply do not want to continue eating. This is not a problem of quantity, but a problem of taste. A little sour flavor can completely change that. Vinegar does not provide much energy, but it stimulates the taste buds, helping you feel easier to eat and continue eating enough. When meals become more pleasant, you maintain the necessary food intake, and from that, keep your strength more stable. Sometimes, the ability to keep eating is just as important as having food. Vinegar also has another role that many people overlook: preservation support. You can use vinegar to pickle vegetables, sour food, or extend storage time when proper preservation conditions are not available. The acidic environment helps limit bacterial growth, thereby helping food last longer. This is a method that has been used for a long time before refrigerators existed, and it is still very effective today. A common mistake is seeing vinegar only as a minor seasoning, something unnecessary. But when meals become monotonous, you will understand that the issue is not just what you have to eat, but whether you can keep eating it. When you start losing appetite, food intake decreases, and the body weakens in a very silent way. Vinegar does not make you full, but it helps you not skip meals. It keeps meals varied, even if only slightly, but enough for you to continue. In limited conditions, it is these small details that make a big difference. You may have enough rice, enough food supplies, but if you no longer want to eat, all of those things lose part of their value. And that is why experienced people do not only prepare for quantity, but also for the ability to maintain eating. Vinegar is not something you think of first, but when you need it, you will realize it is more valuable than you thought. What item do you feel is missing in your real life? 5. Lentils. You can prepare a lot of food. You can choose items that are nutrient-dense, familiar, and that make you feel safe when you look at them. But there is one thing few people consider. Not everything edible is easy to use. And when conditions start to become limited, you will pay the price for that choice. The issue is not what you have to eat, but whether you can turn it into a fast and efficient meal or not. You are not lacking food. You are lacking the ability to use it in real conditions. When fuel is no longer abundant, when time is no longer flexible, each meal is not just cooking, but a decision that consumes resources. Most types of beans require many hours of soaking, then long cooking times before they can be eaten. In normal conditions, this is not a big issue. But when fuel is limited, when you have to calculate every time you cook, things that seem familiar start becoming a burden. You no longer cook because you want to, but you must consider whether it is worth continuing. Lentils are different in that way. You do not need soaking. Cooking time is significantly faster. This means you save both time and fuel, two things you normally do not think about, but when lacking them, they become real limitations. While others are still waiting for their meal to finish, you are already done eating. While others are consuming resources, you are still preserving them. This difference is not about one meal. It is about repetition every day. Each time you cook a little faster, each time you save a bit of fuel, over time, it creates a very large gap. In survival, it is the small, repeated differences that matter. In terms of nutrition, lentils provide plant-based protein, helping maintain muscle and prevent the body from weakening over time. They do not provide immediate energy, but they keep you from losing strength. When food variety is no longer available, this is what helps you maintain a state sufficient to continue. The mistake is not lacking food. The mistake is choosing foods that exhaust you to use. You may have plenty of food, but if each cooking process consumes too much effort and resources, you will break down before you finish using it. You are not hungry. You are slowly running out of what you need to continue. Lentils are not outstanding, not a first choice, not something impressive. But when everything is limited, simplicity becomes real value. You do not need perfect food. You need something you can actually use every day without exhausting yourself. Lentils are not flashy, but they are effective. And in difficult conditions, effectiveness always matters more than feeling. 4. Chickpeas. In a restricted diet, the issue is not whether you have enough food. It is whether you can maintain consistent eating over many days. Chickpeas are not something you choose first. They are not fast, not convenient, and do not create a sense of necessity. But their real value lies in a point many people overlook: the ability to help you keep eating when everything starts to feel repetitive. You may have enough food, but after a few days, everything starts to feel the same. Same ingredients, same cooking methods, same feeling. At first, you still eat normally. Then you eat less. Not because you are full, but because you no longer want to eat. You do not stop eating because you are full. You stop because you are tired of it. This is a very slow and hard-to-notice process. You still have food, but the amount you consume gradually decreases, and over time, your body weakens. You are not lacking food. You are losing the ability to keep eating. Chickpeas do not solve energy needs immediately. They solve repetition. You can cook them soft as a main dish, mash them to change texture, or roast them to create a crunchy feel. The same ingredient, but each time it feels different. The difference is not in what you have, it is in how you use it. It sounds small, but when everything is limited, these small differences determine how long you can hold on. When you still want to eat, you still maintain strength. When you start getting tired of it, you eat less, and when you eat less, your body declines without you noticing. This is not food shortage. This is a silent decline. Beyond flexibility, chickpeas also provide plant-based protein, helping maintain muscle and prevent the body from weakening over time. They do not make you stronger immediately, but they help you avoid losing strength. In terms of shelf life, dried chickpeas can be stored from 1 to 3 years, even longer if conditions are good. But the important thing is not the number, but how you store them. Moisture can ruin the entire batch. Air and insects can quickly destroy their value. If stored incorrectly, chickpeas can become moldy, hard, or impossible to cook soft. The storage method is simple. Keep them sealed, keep them dry, keep them away from light. If possible, add moisture-absorbing packets or bay leaves to reduce insects. Just by controlling 3 factors: dry, sealed, cool, You can store chickpeas for a very long time without losing value. Many people prepare a lot of food, but do not think about whether they can actually eat it continuously. They may have enough, but they cannot maintain it. Most people do not stop because they run out of food. They stop because they cannot continue. Chickpeas are not outstanding, but they give you options. When everything starts to repeat, that option keeps you stable. You do not need perfect food. You need something you can eat every day without giving up. In difficult conditions, you do not need to be stronger than others. You just need not to stop. Are you preparing to survive or just to feel safe? 3. Powdered eggs. When living conditions are no longer normal, familiar foods quickly disappear from daily meals, and that is when the feeling of normal becomes more important than you think. The function of powdered eggs is simple: to replace fresh eggs when you cannot store or use regular eggs. But its real value is not in replacement. It is in preserving familiarity when everything around you is no longer the same. You may still have enough food, but after a while, everything starts to feel dry, monotonous, and lacking a sense of normal life. No more familiar dishes, no more structured meals, only things meant to maintain energy. And at that point, your mental state starts to decline. Powdered eggs help bring back part of that familiarity. You can make scrambled eggs, bake, cook porridge, or add them into dishes to create a soft, warm, and easier-to-eat feeling. These meals are not just about nutrition, but also about giving you the feeling that you are still living in a normal rhythm of life. This is not about taste. This is about psychology. When you can eat something familiar, your body reacts differently. You eat more easily. You eat more fully. You maintain habits. And that helps you stay stable longer. Without these elements, you will not notice immediately. But after a few days, your mental state starts to drop. You eat less, not because there is no food, but because you no longer feel like eating. And when your mental state declines, everything else begins to decline as well. Powdered eggs are not something you think of first. They are not necessary when everything is still abundant. But when conditions change, they become one of the simplest ways to preserve familiarity. In terms of shelf life, powdered eggs can last from 5 to 10 years if properly sealed. The reason is that almost all moisture has been removed, making it difficult for bacteria to grow. However, if exposed to air or humidity, quality will decrease quickly. The storage method is very clear. Keep it fully sealed, avoid moisture, avoid light and high temperatures. After opening, it should be used within a shorter period and always resealed tightly after each use. If stored properly, this is a stable food source for a long time. You do not only need food to survive, you need a sense of normality to continue. And sometimes, a familiar meal can keep you more stable than simply having enough calories. Powdered eggs do not make everything better immediately, but they prevent things from getting worse. And in difficult conditions, maintaining normality is a major advantage. 2. Dried mushrooms. Dried mushrooms do not make you full. They give your meals flavor when everything starts to feel repetitive. When food is limited, the first thing that disappears is not energy, but taste. You still eat, but it no longer feels like a real meal. And very slowly, you start eating less. Not because you are full, but because you no longer want to eat. You are not lacking food. You are gradually losing the ability to keep eating every day. Dried mushrooms solve exactly this point. When soaked in water, they expand, creating a chewy texture and a flavor similar to meat. When cooked, they make dishes richer, deeper, and easier to eat. A small amount can change an entire pot of food. It does not make you eat more, but it helps you still want to eat. The usage is very simple. Soak the mushrooms in water for 10 to 20 minutes until soft, then slice or leave whole depending on the dish. The soaking water can be kept for cooking because it contains a lot of flavor. You can add mushrooms to soup, porridge, rice, stir-fry with vegetables, or chop them into dishes. If you want a different texture, you can lightly roast them after soaking to create a chewier feel. The value of dried mushrooms is not in energy, but in helping you maintain consistent food intake. When meals have flavor, you eat more easily, eat more fully, and maintain strength for longer. If this element is missing, your food intake will gradually decrease without you realizing it. Dried mushrooms are also very easy to store. They can last from 1 to 2 years or longer if kept properly. The most important factor is avoiding moisture. Even a small amount of humidity can make them mold very quickly and unusable. The simple storage method is to keep them sealed in a dry place, away from light and heat. You can also add moisture-absorbing packets to ensure dryness. You may have enough food, but if you no longer want to eat, everything gradually loses its value. Dried mushrooms are not a main food, but they make your main food remain eatable for a long time. Sometimes what helps you continue is not more food, but making the food you already have still something you want to eat. 1. Whole wheat grains. Whole wheat grains are not just food. They are one of the rare things that can both sustain you and give you the ability to produce more. While most foods only decrease over time, this one can continue to generate value. You can cook them directly as grains. You can grind them into flour to make bread, noodles, and create many different types of food. And most importantly, you can replant them. This is the biggest difference. It is not just storage, but a renewable source. Most foods only help you extend time. You eat, and they are gone. But with wheat, if you know how to use it, you can turn a limited resource into something that continues. This is no longer about what you eat today, but what you will still have tomorrow. Its value is not in lasting a long time as food. It is in the ability to create a cycle. Eat, plant, harvest, continue. This is the foundation of any long-term survival system. In terms of shelf life, whole wheat grains can be stored for 25 to 30 years if kept properly. The reason is the low moisture content and the intact outer layer, which protects the inside from bacteria and spoilage. This is one of the few foods with a very long lifespan while still retaining usable value. But this only applies when storage is done correctly. Moisture, air, and insects are the 3 fastest destroying factors. If exposed to humidity, the grains can mold or sprout. If not sealed, insects can destroy the entire supply in a short time. The storage method is very clear. Keep dry, seal completely. Avoid light and high temperatures. You can use sealed containers, vacuum bags, or add moisture-absorbing packets to extend storage time. When these factors are well controlled, you can store wheat for many years without losing value. The biggest mistake is ignoring it because it is inconvenient. It is true that you need tools like a grinder or time to process it, but that is exactly what creates the gap. While others only have food to consume, you have something that can create more. Whole wheat grains are not a convenient choice, but they are a foundational choice. They give you the ability not only to survive, but to rebuild. You can live for a while without it, but you will only be consuming what you already have. You are not creating more. You do not have a starting point again. And that is the biggest difference. This is not just food. This is the future. Look back at this list. Nothing is expensive, nothing is rare, and nothing makes you feel like you are fully prepared. That is exactly why they are overlooked. Not attractive, not advertised, and not giving a sense of reassurance. But reality does not operate on feelings. You do not need more food. You need the right kind of food. Most people store food to avoid hunger. But when conditions change, the issue is no longer how much you have, but how long you can use it and whether you can keep going. Those who understand the nature of things prepare to stay functional, to still have strength, still have clarity, still want to eat, still have the ability to continue. That is what actually matters. The difference is not in quantity. It is in the small details you do not see until they are missing. You do not collapse immediately. You slowly become weaker, slower, lose capability, and do not understand why. And that is why. In the next video, you will see 5 essential foods you truly need to survive. The ones where everything else becomes almost irrelevant.